By the way, I forgot to mention in the Big South, High Point's like minus 250. Everybody else is 9-1 or higher, so they're a clear-cut favorite in that one. And there's only obviously 7 other teams they'd have to beat because they get to the quarterfinals. Horizon League is wide open, and this is a totally different type of handicap, and it's a totally different type of format. This is what I'm talking about knowing the format. Very unique situation here. We have 11 teams in the Horizon League, and the first 2 rounds are actually played on true home courts, the opening round and the quarterfinals. And then the semis and finals next week will be in Indianapolis. This is an 8-day tournament. It starts tomorrow on Tuesday, and it finishes next week on Tuesday on a neutral court. So something to keep in mind with your handicapping. Once again, the top 4 seeds, as a lot of tournaments do now, the top 4 seeds get a double bye, basically, or a single bye to the quarterfinals. They'll get a home game in a couple nights, which means the bottom teams all have to play extra games. Green Bay is by far the worst team in this conference, 2-18. As you see there, they're one of the worst teams in the nation. Detroit Mercy, pretty bad as well. But something else I want to point out about this tournament, and it's very unique. I don't think many others do this. They reseed every round because the lowest seed plays the highest seed. So it's not a locked-in bracket like you see in all these other conferences and in the NCAA tournament. So number 1 seed Robert Morris does not know necessarily who they will play. They don't just automatically play like the winner of the lowest seed game, and they'll get the lowest seed, which could be any of these teams. So a little bit of a twist there. Those games are on Thursday, so they'll only have 1 day of prep. But once again, on 1 day short's notice for both squads, and with travel factored in for the lower seed, definitely lean towards those 4 home teams, the top 4 seeds on Thursday in the quarterfinal round. So something to keep an eye on there. As far as the odds in this conference, it's wide open. You've got Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Robert Morris, Cleveland State, all at like 2.5 to 1. All 3 of them less than 3 to 1. And then you've got like Fort Wayne, Youngstown, both around 8 to 1. So this conference is wide open. I really think it could go to anybody. It's a very mediocre league. Every team is outside the top 150 in net rating. High Point was like top 90. All these teams are not even in the top half of the country. 364 teams, and none of them are even top 150. So it's a real bottom feeder league. I think we could see some upsets here, but just wanted to point out the unique format that they reseed and that there are true home courts in the first couple rounds. Yeah, it's a great offer. You're going to get the rest of college hoops for $199. That's less than $5 a day. The rest of the regular season. Don't forget the big boys still have another week of regular season action. We'll have another top 25 video this Saturday. Daily free play videos here throughout the week. So click subscribe, click that bell here on Wager Talk TV to check the free plays, and then get my personal best bets along with a daily free play, a bonus free play. My last cut goes up free for everybody. WT.buzz/SM, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. And let's not sleep on baseball. I know we're excited for March Madness. I'm number 1 all-time NBA profit leader at Wager Talk, but baseball starts in about 3 weeks, and I won over 100 units in baseball alone last year. We doubled our bankroll by August. Let that sink in. Doubled our bankroll in 8 months last year for all sports clients. So you can get the rest of college hoops for $5 a day, or how about all sports all access for $1 a play? Promo code SM365 is on my page right now. A 1-year all access with an $811 discount. Check it out along with that daily free play. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Yeah, we're going to look at the Big South. Also going to look at the Horizon League. They both start this week, and talk some general thoughts when handicapping these college tournaments so they can be great moneymakers. So the first thing I'll mention, though, is that the lines are accurate this time of the year. And in fact, the sharpest, most accurate lines in the entire college basketball season will be the next 2 weeks during the conference tournaments. And it makes a lot of sense why. They all have common opponents. They've all played 10, 12, 14 common opponents, 18 common opponents in some leagues. So the odds makers have a good database to look at. And it really is as simple as looking at conference-only stats. So if you want to analyze these games throughout all the November and December, because a lot of these mid-major teams, smaller conference teams, get blown out early, working new pieces in. Conference-only stats are a great handicapping tool this time of the year, and I think they're very reliable. You also want to make sure, obviously, key players weren't missing or have come back. Let's start with the Big South tournament. The formats also, you got to look into the formats of these tournaments. Some play on home courts, some don't. Most don't anymore. Some give teams double byes. Some play no rest situations. The Big South tournament is pretty straightforward. There's only 9 teams. This is how it used to be when I started in the 90s, 8-9 team tournaments. And this is one of the old school formats. The 8 and 9 seeds play each other for an extra game, and then everyone else gets a bye into the quarterfinals. It becomes an 18 tournament. You'll see there are real 2 bottom feeders this year. U.S. Upstate, one of the worst teams in the country, 2-14 in the conference. Gardner-Webb, 5-11. They will play the play-in game, which is tomorrow, actually Wednesday. And then they have to turn right around and play the number 1 seed High Point at noon on Friday, a couple days later. I like it better than no rest, but one of my favorite angles in conference tournaments, and it'll apply here, is to play the rested number 1 seed against the bottom feeder. Everyone thinks, well, they've got momentum, they're coming in. Now, they had to play the extra game because they're awful. High Point is by far the class of this league. They are the team to beat. I'd be surprised if they don't win it. They're much better than anybody else in this conference. They went overall, I think they only had like 6 losses on the year. High Point's actually a top 90 net rating team. Not going to get an at-large, but they'll make some noise if they do make the NCAA tournament. So whoever wins that play-in game, take a look at High Point on Friday afternoon at noon Eastern. If you're going to play it, I would lay it in that one. Winthrop has made some noise over the years. UNC Asheville, the only other 2 teams here, maybe Radford. But once again, High Point, the class of this league, I'd be very surprised if they don't win it because, once again, it's a one-bid conference, and they have to win it to get in the tournament.